Let me just get this right. Okay? Wait. Ah, perfect now. So, in my journey of finding VR games, I stumbled upon Hellsplit. First, we need to choose our VR experience, standing or seated. Then we choose our height. And then we play.
Are you not entertained?
Okay, let's get to it. You start in a, I don't know, pre-hub, where you can choose between campaign, training and mods. I have decided to go with the campaign mode. Looks like we've got two difficulty options, normal and hardcore. Just a heads up, if you complete the game on normal and then switch to hardcore, you will lose your trophies. You start the game in a hub. Up front, we've got what I'm calling the armory. Could be its real name, could not. But if the shoe fits, right? And this is where you gear up with armor, pick your weapons and stack up on potions. Let's get a glimpse of the arsenal. Daggers first. Quick and deadly. Onto swords, the trusty sidearms for any warrior. Axes next, for those who prefer brute force. Polearms, reach and leverage combined. And maces, when you need to make an impact. And for those who prefer to maintain a distance in combat, there's plenty to choose from. You've got bows, medieval style guns, and various throwing weapons for a more strategic approach. Lastly, ammunition, because what good is a bow without arrows, or a gun without bullets? On the left, there's a detailed rundown of each weapon's lore and backstory, giving you a taste of the history behind the steel. Moving on to armor, we've got body protection and shields. And just like the weapons, each piece comes with its own lore and backstory, enriching the experience and connection you have with your gear. Now let's talk potions. Essential for any warrior's survival kit. They're not just for healing, you've got potions to enhance your weapons too. Imagine dipping your blade in a venom that weakens your enemy with each slice. Triumphs in battle? They won't go unnoticed. There's a trophy room to showcase your victories. And when you're looking to sharpen those combat skills, there's a dedicated training room. Here you can practice to your heart's content until you're ready to face whatever is lurking beyond these walls. Or just play with these letter blocks, I guess. To start a round, you need to touch the sword in the middle of the room. Time for some combat.
Let the fight begin.
I'm not entirely sure, but it seems like the sword offers different ways to strike your foes. When you hit with the flat side, it feels like you're dealing blunt damage. A strike with the blade seems to deliver slicing damage, and thrusting with the tip, that's where you get the piercing effect. As the battle wears on, you'll notice the game drops some much needed healing items. Everything from fruits to potions. Just what you need to keep you in the fight. But be quick. These healing items won't stick around forever. Wait too long and they're gone. Another cool feature? You can grab enemies and toss them aside. Charge toward an enemy with a shield bash and you will send them flying back. With a bit of luck or perfect timing, you might even push them into deadly traps scattered around the arena. But just a heads up, you won't always be facing just one enemy. My tip? Keep a shield handy, especially for those pesky archers. When you hit the enemy with the sharp side of the sword, you can cut open their throat. That's brutal. With enough force, you can even cut off their heads. Even though I always carried a shield, my go-to weapon was a two-handed sword. Sometimes though, I've noticed the game might drop my weapon unexpectedly, even when I'm sure I'm still holding it. By accident, I discovered that you can actually stab enemies in the face when they are wearing open helmets. Interesting, sure, but it didn't exactly make things easier. And don't underestimate this game, it's more than just swinging a sword. It could easily double as a workout. You see, you only deal damage with meaningful, forceful swings. Keep this up for an hour and you're guaranteed a sweat. I know I was. One of my favorite areas is the snow area. It's a large arena where you can even ride a horse. This feels awesome. Kinda stiff, but I guess that's how horse riding is, eh? Never rode a horse though. Funny thing, some enemies do slip in this area because of the frozen lake. Nice detail though. At the end of each chapter you are faced with a boss fight. A true test of your skills.
Would be equal to signing your own death warrant.
This one took me 3 tries to bring him down. He's a tough one for sure.
Perfect.
Chapter complete, and with it comes new armor, a new chapter, and of course more enemies to test your skills. Now, there's this one enemy. Let me tell you, my sheet wasn't quite up to the task of blocking his attacks. Maybe a bigger shield would have done the trick, but mine? Not so much. But I still defeated him after a long fight. Next up, a new map, and I've got to say it's really cool. A handy tip, if you come across fire, you can infuse your weapon with elemental powers like fire, ice or poison. Down in the middle, see that archer? He really ramps up the difficulty of the fight. I'm going to take him out first, nasty little bugger. And now the rest. After a good deal of fighting in the arenas, we find ourselves in a different one. This place has a fantastic look. It's got a real Dark Souls feel to it. I'm going to use the rope to descend. Seems like it could be a fun ride. But first, let's have a quick look around. Sure, more enemies to fight. Off to the rope. First, we descended with it, and now we are climbing back up. It was fun, but kinda pointless. As you can see, using the rope wasn't really necessary. We could have just taken this path. Looks like my sword got stuck in the wood. And hey, is my arm stretching? Feels like I'm made out of gum. Whoa, that arrow was close. I'm feeling a bit like Boromir in that cave scene right now. Before we wrap up this journey, I want to take a moment to thank you all for joining me in this virtual world. If you've enjoyed our time together and want more adventures like this, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Your thoughts and comments below are always appreciated. Now, as we approach the end of our current quest, I have decided to leave the final bosses unexplored to keep some mystery alive for you. So, until our next digital escapade, keep exploring and stay positive.